Xbox's performance in Japan has been a joke for over a decade now. It's remained at the bottom of the charts. Any initiative to build a Japanese player base has been fleeting at best. The attempt to bring in a Japanese audience during the Xbox 360's life gets some recognition, with relatively high-profile RPG exclusives like Blue Dragon, Lost Odyssey, and, while later released on PlayStation 3, Tales of Vesperia. However, not much attention is brought to Japanese content that appeared on the original Xbox. SEGA, in particular, supported the platform through much of its life. From a market perspective, the Xbox got the short end of the stick when it came to SEGA exclusives. Most were niche franchises or series past their prime, yet that doesn't necessarily mean the quality of these titles were lacking. Jet Set Radio Future, as well as the Shenmue 2 port, are among some of my favorite titles on the platform. Panzer Dragoon Orta easily occupies that same space. Orta is an on-rail shooter where the player controls a dragon and its rider. They can shoot directly at foes, or charge their weapon to fire the equivalent of lock-on missiles. Unlike a popular furry space pilot on another platform, it's not limited to focusing on enemies who are approaching head-on. Threats need to be managed from all four directions. A radar displays foes, so a lot of the time is spent keeping an eye on the top right corner of the screen and shifting the camera in 90 to 180 degree intervals. It can be disorienting at first, though it's easy to get used to. What makes Orta unique is that the dragon has 3 different forms. There's an attack type that significantly raises damage dealt, but greatly reduces mobility along with the standard weapon's firing rate. A defensive form has enhanced maneuverability with an auto-targeting rapid shot. Finally, there's the all-arounder, which is just average at everything. These transformations are where the game shines, since encounters require the player to be adaptive with the form they'll need. Failing to bring out the correct transformation can lead to taking massive damage or extending the counter from not properly exploiting weaknesses. Unfortunately, switching between them can be a bit cumbersome, as only one button is assigned to all 3. The player has to cycle through forms rather than select a specific one. Remembering which is next in rotation seems like a minor task until you're in the heat of the moment. It can take some time to figure out which form shines in a segment. With no checkpoints outside of boss battles, playing the same sequences a few times over isn't uncommon. Fortunately, no intense amount of memorization is needed to overcome them. Considering it's not a long campaign by any means, a little bit of repetition doesn't do much harm. You can probably finish your first run in 3 to 4 hours. This doesn't leave much room for world building in the story though. It reminds me a lot of watching old anime OVAs that clearly had more context when delivered in some other form. Orta's conflict is presented with no real significant explanation of what's happening beyond this girl just being on the run. That being said, the universe has such an intense otherworldly feel that everything still somehow feels complete. There are ancient ruins of technologies, dragon mouths, gigantic creatures, as well as weird robot people. Some trippy visual effects add to the mystique of it all. The series even has its own made-up language, apparently called Panzerese. I'd imagine a Japanese-only lore book exists somewhere that gives better context for exactly what is happening. I also never played the JRPG Panzer Dragoon Saga, so maybe that would fill in some of the blanks. If you've played Saga though, I'm pretty sure you probably don't need me to tell you to play Orta. As short as the story is, it's a game that expects repeat play of levels for higher rankings. This unlocks bonus content in the Pandora's Box section. What's noted by most people in here is the port of the original Panzer Dragoon, which is a cool bonus. But let's get serious here. Let's talk about the pod mode. There's a relatively unassuming set of side missions featuring a kid riding his little flying military bike thing. It seems like a bunch of obstacle courses with some story at first, yet there's this whole tragic tale about him becoming a child soldier after the death of his father. It shows how the protagonist's actions in the main scenario destroy this kid's life. Honestly, the central plot of Panzer Dragoon Orta is forgettable, but I'll forever remember the effects it has on this side story. By the end, I was just bawling my eyes out. Like, even thinking about it now, oh my gosh, I can't do this. Oh god. I don't think anyone dislikes Orta, though it doesn't seem to get the same love as the SEGA Saturn titles that came before it. Well, I can't speak for the second release in the series, why. I can say that the form-changing mechanics of Orta take the game beyond just being an on-rail shooter with a nice presentation that I feel the series may have occupied beforehand, at least with the original. But admittedly, I played the original after Orta, so maybe that's just the effect of playing them out of order. As a nice bonus, in this recording made in the year of 2018, it's surprisingly affordable compared to the other releases. It's a fairly short game too. If you still have your original Xbox around, there's not much commitment needed to enjoy it. Play some Panzer Dragoon Orta. I can't imagine you would regret it.